Oh, wait. Which version is this? Aren't there like 6 of these? Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video with NextGen Collecting. Today, actually, I'm pretty excited for this one. I had been getting back into the Pokemon TCG world, and along the way, I was kind of thinking back to my childhood when I had cards. Now, I am not necessarily old enough. I probably just missed the cusp for kind of the original base set first edition cards. But however, in the early 2000s, I had done a few things here. First off, I was collecting kind of probably those mid-era cards, maybe like Neo Genesis, all the way up to maybe cards up into the Diamond and Pearl era, maybe 2007, 2008. But during that period, I actually was really looking to get some different styles of cards. And ooh, look, there's a little bit of swirl on this Tensor's Pharaoh here. But really what I was doing over time is trying to find those cards. And when I was maybe 6 or 7, I went to my dad begging to look on eBay for Pokemon card collections. And I had my dad look back through some of those transactions. I think we ended up paying around $60 for all of the cards that you'll see from these Japanese sets, and everything in this black binder that I have here. Now, I did have my parents ship these cards out to me. I have a total of this black binder filled with that eBay bought collection, again, for $60 back in 2006 or 7, which is wild to think. And my goal today is just going to be going through these to see kind of what they're worth. I haven't thought about them too much since maybe 2020, 2021 during COVID when I did pull these back out. But again, it's been a handful of years even since then to see what's going on. So my goal today is let's go through each of these cards, some of these binders. We'll see if any of these are worth. But knowing how much some of these cards are rising in value and just understanding that I want to make sure I'm taking care of these cards longer term. What we're doing right now is just pulling some of these out. All of these cards, ooh, wow, really pretty. Some of these cards, Misty Cedra here with a nice swirl. Oh, actually maybe a double swirl. That's really pretty. Wow. Oh my gosh. So again, this set I did purchase on eBay, and a lot of these cards already came sleeved, but they were still in kind of this loose 9 binder piece here. Knowing that even myself flipping through this binder is going to be causing some damage over time, what I want to do is really take care of these. So everything that is, maybe worth upwards of $10, $15, I'm going to pull out of the individual sleeves out of the binder, and we're going to put into net new sleeves after cleaning and put them into top loaders. The goal from that really is going to be looking to see if we can evaluate if any of these cards are actually worth grading. Now, as we wrap up page 1, these ones that we've loaded into top loaders, first off, a lot of these are holos from Gym Challenge or Gym Heroes, as I found out going through a lot of these. Quite a few Japanese cards here, and you'll see on this first page, we also have those WB Kids movie promos from the 2000 movie. And I will flick through these. I will not go through each individual card here, as a lot of these are some of the commons and uncommons. Would love to see, if you see any cards that are interesting, pause the video, take a closer look at some of these, as there are some really fun cards. But I also want to make sure that I'm not wasting too much of your time going through these cards. And, oh my gosh, wow. I didn't even realize some of these were double bindered. Okay, so I might actually have more than I thought here, which is kind of interesting to think. Now, as I go through this full binder review, I'm going to show off some of the cards, but at the very end here, what I did along this process is I did use Collector and TCG to scan in every single one of these cards from both my kind of older vintage collection here and some of the more modern ones that I collected myself. Now, across that, I think we ended up having around 600 or so cards, and for a lot of these, we're actually pretty close on having a complete set for the Japanese Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge sets, both of them. There's a few pretty important cards missing, like Sabrina's Gengar and Blaine's Charizard. But on top of that, we did have quite a few first edition, both Fossil and Jungle. So to whoever sold off your your collection on eBay back in 2007 for $60, it was some nice Misty trainers that I'm sure people will like. Thank you, and I'm sorry. I think they've increased in value quite a bit here at this point. But it's really nostalgic going through some of these cards and seeing some of the original Japanese artwork that not a lot of folks have. Yeah, wow, going through these, there's a lot of first edition jungle here. A lot of those commons and uncommons. Maybe the goal here, honestly, you might be able to master set some of these. I know this is going to be maybe an expensive endeavor. Oh, and we have some base set unlimited cards here too. Now, I don't see any first edition base set, which is okay. But I do think this is maybe an okay time to start thinking about how do I master set these, or do I want to sell these off and invest in modern collection over time? Okay, yeah, more first edition rares, non-holos. Seems like we had a lot of the holos, and I did pull out a few cards even before going through this binder that we'll get to in just a little bit, because those are some of the heavy hitters, which I'm excited to share about. And getting towards the end of first binder. Okay. Pretty solid set so far, but as I pulled these open, I remembered I had gone through these maybe in 2019 or so, and I had sent off a few cards through PSA just to try it out. Now, at the time when I sent these, I had no idea what to do. So let's see. I don't even remember what these cards are, nor what the grades are. So looks like I sent in a first edition Holo Articuno from Fossil. Ooh, and only a 7. Oh, and actually I can even see some scratching on the holo there. That's probably why. Centering looks pretty good. Whitening, maybe one on the top left. Okay, we also sent in a first edition Fossil Moltres. Ugh, and same thing, a 7. Okay, probably still some scratches on the holo there. I think we have 2 more cards remaining, and hopefully those cards continue a little bit better here. Oh my gosh, a first edition Fossil Holo Lapras as well. Awesome, and an 8. Okay. And final card. Oh, heavy hitter. First edition Fossil Gengar. Looks pretty clean. Wow, and a PSA 9. Okay. Wow, so I did send off maybe some of the heavy hitters already to PSA. Some maybe not so great ones on the birds, but that Gengar has got to be pretty fun then. Now, again, my childhood binder, these cards, maybe more in the 2003, 2008 era, these are likely cards that I was purchasing myself or begging my mom to purchase as we would go to Target and all of those different pieces. And I'm seeing quite a few of those cards in here. Yeah, these are more of the ones that I had collected, which is really cool to see. I love a lot of these Delta Species cards, and I think quite a few of these Delta Species actually are pretty solid. This is also the era of gold stars. I don't remember if I had any. So far, no. I would assume I would have kept those bigger and better ones at the beginning, hopefully. But I'm not seeing any right now. I'm sure a handful of these are maybe worth a little bit. But I know this kind of mid-era is really what folks are enjoying right now. Quite a few reverse holos in this, in the Buizel and the Rosalia. I put a lot of my energy cards in here for some reason. And I'm seeing also on top of all these, oh, is that a Neo Genesis Noctowl? Okay. Reverse Spheal and Manaphy holos. Another promo on the Zapdos there. And that WB Mewtwo. Okay, so I think that's all 4 on the Mewtwo, or the WB promos then here. Okay, and that's the end of my modern collection, so nothing too crazy, but probably what you're all here for are the heavy hitter cards. Now, I did pull these out of the binders ahead of going through those kind of raw pieces there, as I wanted to make sure the quality was kept on these. We'll start with probably some of the lower tier ones here as I continue going through these. Again, Power Keepers, some of those reverse holos. Most of these cards are either near mint or LP. Maybe not that Crottle there. That's got a big dent in the middle. I think it's a Burger King promo. That's probably why. But my goal here is really to get some feedback from you all as well. I know a lot of these cards, and I'm also getting back into the hobby, probably after 15 to 20 years of not being super involved. And the market has changed so much, and the interest in cards has changed so much. So if you see any of these cards that you think are worth grading, please let me know down in the comments. First edition non-holo Jungle Flareon. I always want to make sure, that for all of these cards, as we're looking at them, obviously centering is big, 2 first edition Jungle Pikachus. But I know that the vintage card market is kind of huge, as always. Looks like part of 2 swirls on this Lieutenant Surge's Magneton. And it also seems like some of the Japanese cards are getting of more interest to folks over in the US. So any of these cards that you think are worth grading, let me know down in the comments. I would love to, one, understand what folks are interested in nowadays, and see if it's worth sending these off to PSA. I know probably a lot of these, based on maybe some holo scratches, probably come back closer to PSA 7, 8. There are maybe some 9 or 10 contenders in here, though. Again, looking at these, the holos actually are in pretty solid condition, and centering looks pretty good, especially some of these first edition cards. And a base unlimited Hitmonchan. Okay. So those were from some of the modern collection and some of those Japanese cards. And I believe this card is actually banned nowadays, which is interesting. So a little limited there in terms of the quality of that card and how many are available on the market. Okay, yeah, these Delta Species cards. This Deoxys Holos Phantom. I think this is a reverse holo. Beautiful card. More first edition fossil holos. I think we have quite a few of those, actually, which would be fun maybe to complete a set. I know we had the PSA Graded Gengar. There's the Haunter holo. What else do we have here? Yeah, a lot of first edition fossils. Let me know in the comments, are these worth grading? Or let me know maybe which of these you think is some of your favorite cards. I'd love to see how folks are doing in their collecting journey. And the Aerodactyl, nice, I love that. Okay, and that is an EX Keepers, I believe, Charizard. That one's going for quite a bit, I think. Obviously, any Charizard card folks love, so exciting to see that. Now, I did pull out 4 or 5 big cards that I want to send in. I believe this is Misty's Tears here. This is a no longer continued card. A nice Mew holo card promo. I know a lot of the promos are also going crazy today. First edition Fossil Magneton. This one looked super clean. The holo looked great. The centering looked good. The back looked fine. This is one I'll definitely send in, hoping for a 9 or a 10. Same thing, base unlimited Raichu. Really nice holo. Pretty solid centering, I think. Some of these cards just look really good. I obviously love a good Mewtwo card in this Rockets Mewtwo from our Japanese set. And finally, bread and butter, that ancient Mew from the movie. Now, I believe this is the US version. It does have that Wizards promo down in the bottom, so this is not some of those initial Japanese sets. Okay, so thinking over what all we have just covered, what I have done throughout this entire process, again, as I mentioned earlier, is I went through every single individual card, and I mapped it out with both collector and TCG player, with the goal of mapping out what the collection is worth today. Now, I found each of the raw cards, what they're worth today, in their probably near mint condition. Maybe some are LP. And I also wanted to map out both the raw value and then what it would cost or what they're worth if I graded them in a PSA 8, 9, and 10. And so I went through every single one of these cards, found out which ones I currently have graded, which ones are maybe worth grading, and which ones are not. And we calculated the total. Now, a lot of manual work, but overall, for spending maybe around $250 worth of these cards, in raw, they're actually worth just over $6.5 grand. If we upgraded this to a PSA 9, we'd be sitting at around $21,000. And if something happened where every single one of our big heavy hitter cards graded a PSA 10, this collection would be worth over $63,000. Now, a little unrealistic to expect all of these cards to hit even 9s or 10s, so we'll likely sit our estimate maybe closer to around 10 grand. But hey, for spending $62 on eBay back in 2006, all the way up to maybe being around worth around $10,000, Dad, let me tell you, I think we did okay. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed going through some of my old cards with me here. These are quite fun, and I really did enjoy them. Let me know if you'd also enjoy maybe just having some a little bit slower raw footage of me going through each of the cards and talking through it. I did want to make sure we didn't make this video too long, and so I sped up to about 1.5 times speed for a lot of the footage. Obviously, you all can pause, but if you'd like to hear me talk through each of those cards and maybe point out some ones I like, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to make sure I'm making content that everyone likes to enjoy, as I had a ton of fun going back and reliving some of these old moments. With that, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Hope to see you on the next one.